Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker. We are apparently doing the piano soundtrack. Is that what I currently have on, or do I have on the jazz soundtrack? No, no, that's what I currently have on, so that's two in a row. Oh, pardon me. Alright, so there's been some very interesting developments with that. What is it, the day before? I say it like that, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just... I find it so hard to believe that this game is even a damn thing, let alone that it's a thing that anyone really wanted, but I mean, that's just me kind of being an asshole about it, let me be frank. The fact of the matter is, this game has made a lot of buzz with just how... First of all, with just how wish-listed it was. Like, it's nuts how many people were looking forward to this game based upon what the developers, Fntastic, without the first A, because, oh my god, guys, aren't we just so cool? We're so edgy and hip, we don't need to spell words right. But now it turns out that, yeah, that game was pretty much every bit the dickhead move it seemed like it was going to be. And now we're here to laugh about it. But first, we are going to design a run that intentionally looks like... Our run is intentionally going to look like we're essentially just using firearms. So, what do we need now? We need a shotgun. I was thinking about this, and there's, two shotguns I can go with. I can go with this, or I can go with Frozen... Or, what is it? Frost Fan? I can go with Frost Fan, or I can do this. Actually, what we can do is... Well, first of all, we need to throw up our smoke screen. Bam! Smoke screen! Then, do we put the shotgun here or here? Well, let's see what other sorts of projectile fun we can have. There's our anti-material rifle, but do we have something else? I mean, that's basically a railgun right there. And we could go with that. I mean, there's so many interesting options for something that just seems like a gun, basically. Like, I don't want to do that because that completely goes over the top and into just straight up power territory, but I mean, that could be a missile launcher. Yeah. Flame cleaver could be like... And is it right to call that a sniper rifle? Or is it just a big ol' hunting rifle? I don't know. You be the guess. You be the deciding factor on that one. But I think we're going to do something a little different, and we are going to actually make this more of a perforating jet run, and we're going to start with the Sidewinder's badge. So I don't know if this is something that's going to create a huge amount of struggle or not. I'm hoping not. But I really want to do something that makes the perforating jet stand out a little bit, and in my mind, this seems like the best idea. Now we just need Nox to stock my favorite cursed relic. Which, of course, as you well know, is easier said than done. While we're waiting for that to happen, I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you haven't been getting scammed by terrible early access games. Gee, what could he possibly be talking about when he says that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe he's talking about towns, or, you know, anything that Peter Molyneux says. Look, it isn't just things like the day before that have made me wary of early access products. I mean, pardon me. When you talk about, you know, releasing a game in early access, what it was supposed to be is a way for the devs to recoup some of their cost and show players what it is they've been working on, so that they could A, like I said, recoup some of their cost, and B, also give the players something to look at and get some feedback in return. And yeah, there's already the kind of scummy aspect of, okay, so the devs are just getting free beta testers. And, you know, somewhat, yes, I openly admit that, but I'm not here to defend early access. That's kind of the whole point of this, is I've never been one to trust early access releases. Hey, Nox, I'm trying to have an episode all about gaming and, you know, early access, and that's kind of hard to do when you won't. There we go. We can actually start the run now. And I think the best place for us to start would actually be with Zeal. Alright. And Atlas is in spot number 2. Alright, cool. And we've got ourselves a run. Owie! How dare you! Alright, so now let's get back into this. No, I'm not here to defend early access, like, even a little bit. No, I've never been a fan of early access. I've always been a fan of release something when it's ready to be released, and then we'll talk about whether or not it's something that's I actually want, that I'm actually willing to pay for. Owie. You know, that good old model of release product and, you know, see if it's a good product and then go from there. As is, I look at early access and it makes me go, alright, so now they don't even need to finish a product before they throw it at us and go, give us money! And of course that's not what early access was designed for. To say anything other than that would be completely misleading the point. No, it was designed for smaller devs to be able to have something that they can put out and then just go from there. And indeed, some smaller devs have used it to good effect. I mean, some of the good that's come out of early access are games like, you know, Dead Cells started off in early access, and Motion Twin used a lot of that feedback, and indeed still do, to keep Dead Cells going, to add features that players actually want, to, you know, do things that, you know, make sense. Like, they're using early access for its intended purpose. Which, I'll be completely fair with that and say, yeah, I know that it's real easy for it to be abused. And that's kind of the point. It seems like whenever we release something that's meant to be done for a good reason, some other asshole comes along and says, well, what if I could use this to turn a tidy little profit? And indeed, that's what's been going on with early access. And no, not every game. There's plenty of games out there that use early access for its intended purpose, which is to build and polish and gain community feedback while still being able to make a little bit of money back from development cost. Oh yeah, well, we can upgrade this. Let's see. Well, I mean, there's really no reason to grab anything Earth-based. And you're not a gun, even though it has the word cannon in there. But it's still a maybe. And it's certainly not bad. I am gonna grab that. I have my reasons for not picking that up. Namely, I don't have a lot here that would benefit from being able to cast it faster. So I think we'll take that just as kind of a defense. I have a little defensive buffer zone just in case things go poorly. This could be a gun. Though I kind of feel like it's one of those things that isn't going to work super well right now. And no, I'm not going to worry about the Inferno Cannon. Oh, great. Glad I went that direction. Now, the reason, of course, why I'm talking about games that are just early access scams is because it turns out that's pretty much what the day before was. It's just one big old early access scam. How do we know that? Well, just today, and I'm amazed that this happens so quickly and just out of nowhere. But the developer Fntastic just said out of nowhere that they're shutting down their studio, and explained that the day before is a huge financial loss, which, oh my, who could have seen that coming? It's almost like when you completely lie about what genre your game is entirely, put up false not even false advertising, but false marketing on your game saying that it's going to be this or that when it's not. you know, describe it as one way when it's really another way. I'm so disappointed. And you know, that's another thing about it, is that they had trailer footage, they had gameplay footage, there were all sorts of things that were put up that were designed to show what this game was and what they had been working on. And then when the game came out, turns out all of that was nothing more than an elaborate lie. With just about all of their... Like, as time went on, you could see that there were more and more red flags mounting. See, there's nothing up there, so I need to figure out... I'm going this way. I see two things here that I like. Of course, it's still very early, so... Oh, that's embarrassing. But to be expected. That's kind of the reason why I grabbed it, is because I got into some early game trouble and decided, you know what? What if I focus a little bit more on defense? Alright, so hear me out. The Adorable Mimic is a wonderful choice, but I'm still working on building up my run. So I'm going to take the Pewter Bracelet because I have plenty of time to build that up into something special. In the meantime, I'm going to grab that. This would be better if I could dash around and then throw out something that's just like a big haymaker of sorts. As is, Special Snowflake seems like the right option. So here's something that the day before didn't have: melee. Let's use that to our advantage. Alright, not bad. And we now have... Oh yeah, I didn't pick up a Cursed Relic last time, did I? Oh well. Not a big deal to me. Oh wait, no I did. It was the Horned Halo. Whoops! Alright, saved me from a really embarrassing defeat. Got overzealous with my offense. Alright. Come on, brain. We gotta do better than this. We can't be losing. Not like this. I don't care about Fading Petal. So here's the thing about the day before that really threw most people off. The game heavily marketed itself as... Okay, I can grab that. That works. Now I might come back for the dragons because that's kind of like a Half-Life 2 gravity gun. That's right, birds. But yeah, the game heavily marketed itself as a zombie apocalypse survival MMO, which I guess a lot of people were really into the idea of. I'm not entirely sure I understand it, but... That's actually going to lower my overall damage to increase my critical hit damage, and that just seems like a bad idea right now. I don't have a lot that's boosting my critical hit chances. You get the idea. So anyway, the game marketed itself heavily as a survival zombie apocalypse MMO. And based off of that and off of all the trailers that they put out, you know, all of this development footage that they were showing, it was looking like, for a lot of people, a really interesting game. I'm not sure it would have particularly spoken to me. It's not my style of game, but, you know, a bunch of people were really into the idea, so, you know, good for them, I guess. As I said really early on in this, not every game needs to be designed for my ideals. I'm gonna grab this. I'll grab that too. But yeah, and based off of that, it just became the most wish-listed game on Steam. But a lot of people were were just guessing it was going to be a falsely advertised product, and, you know, it's just vaporware. Kind of like the original version of Duke Nukem Forever. It was one of those things that was going to get advertised, but then was never going to materialize. Well, lo and behold, December 7th comes around, and here it is, the day before. It's like, this is what you all wanted, right? And people were like, oh, hot shit! They actually released it! Now, 4 days after that, I'm betting a lot of people had wished that they hadn't released it, because... yeah. Because it is what we like to call an early access scam. And for those of you who are unaware, what I'm basically saying is they advertised something that didn't actually exist, got people all hyped up, took a bunch of their money when the game released, and then basically just ran off into the sunset, never to be seen again. Here we go. And this is far from the only game that does that. I had alluded to Peter Molyneux lying to people about his game before, and the game that I was making reference to is a game called Goddess, which, as the name would imply, is essentially just a god, just a god game. But I mean, a lot of people really like those games. And for a while, Peter Molyneux was actually really good at making them, but yeah, I guess everyone's got their breaking point, and yeah, for him, that was it. But I mean, I think the writing was on the wall when he released Fable 3, and it wasn't the game that he was saying it was going to be. I know I'm about to touch on a nerve, because there's a lot of people out there that like the Fable series, and, you know, good for you if you like it, but, I don't know, after playing the crap out of Fable 2 and kind of thinking it was very mid, I'm good without it. Ah, wonderfully executed. I mean, other examples of early access scams include, let's see, I think it was called Towns, Earth 2066. I had already mentioned Goddess, and that was one of the more higher profile ones. So I'm noticing that Gust Volley isn't getting upgraded. What's the deal with that? Would you like to share with me why Gust Volley doesn't deserve an upgrade? It's my shotgun. Why doesn't my shotgun deserve an upgrade? Ooh, do you have anything fun? It's a little iffy at this point in the game, but it's about the best thing there is. Alright, well, the only thing I really want out of here is a healing potion. So, what sort of gun would Inferno Beam be? Is that like a... I don't know, some sort of laser rifle? I don't know, I'm picking it up. Antiquated Tabi a second time. Yay, I'm not picking that up. Now, I had watched a lot of coverage on the day before, mostly because I didn't know what it was before it released. I saw it come up on my Steam recommendations list, and I was like, "What is this game? And why is it coming up as mostly negative?" Which nowadays, I'm sure that's overwhelmingly negative. Oh, and there's Inferno Cannon again. Hold on. There we go. But it wasn't just the false advertising that brought the day before down. It was also the idea that the game was buggier than a dune buggy being driven by a bug. And in case you're wondering, wow, Dark Sage, that's a lot of bugs, I would say, yeah, you're right. It's almost like they should have, tested their product before they released it. But that implies that they were intending on doing anything other than doing a cut and run. And for the record, no, they weren't looking to do anything but that. I can see two things here that I want, but I will come back to that later. Really? Again? Okay, game, this is now the second time in a row you've decided to drop the exact same spell time and time again and, coerce me into pick it up, but it's not working this time. I don't know what exactly your scam is, but you need to stop at that. I'm not falling for your scams. There's our good doctor. Oh, not looking forward to that room. Here's the boss chamber. Alright, guess we've got to do this. Okay, so yes, we can make use of Dr. Song's spells. I'd like to point out, yes, I am aware this is the second time I've seen Blazing Lariat, but it's not as impressive as the third time seeing Inferno Cannon. Elixir of Might, I love it. Alright, we're just gonna have to get rid of that. Pick up that. Now, do I drop anything to pick up? I say yes. I say I drop this to pick up Pathfinder's Knapsack. Do I drop anything to pick up the Singing Bowl? There really isn't anything here that the Singing Bowl would do really well with, aside from Furious Tempest. I couldn't remember the name of the spell. Aren't you embarrassed about that? Not really. The human brain works in weird and mysterious ways, and I can't be asked to remember every single little bit of data that comes my way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. There we go. Hold on, we've got a stackable. I haven't exactly left the stage yet, so there's still time if I want to pick that up and have a slightly stronger heavy travel jacket. I don't know if this is the best idea, but I think... Oh no, I dropped the... Never mind. I'm not being that silly. Oh no, I did have the Noxious Dapper Cap on this stage still. Alright, hang on. We're gonna work with this one way or another. Because I'm really hoping to see the Hunter's Stiletto. Of course, what I'd like to see even more than that is the Curse Eater's Mask, but, you know. Alright, sorry, I got, like, hyper distracted. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, all the problems with the day before, like... Like, you know, the idea that even though it was a zombie survival sandbox, there are basically no zombies. Well, that seems odd. How can you have a zombie survival game and not have any zombies in it? Or... Or, like, how can you possibly know what's going on if you can't hear what's going on around you? To give you an idea of what I mean by that, a lot of the game's ambient noise, like just random background noise, are things like gunfire and car alarms. And when part of the advertised gameplay involves dealing with other players to extract loot, and yes, it was an extraction shooter, not an MMO sandbox survival, then having sounds like that constantly going off around you is constantly making you think, oh crap, there are other people here, or I need to get ready to defend my territory, or, you know, other things like that. Or maybe not defend your territory, because it wasn't like you had bases being built or anything. I mean, you can, but it's just part of the game's side activity, and it was pretty pointless. Like, it was honestly just there as a thing that you could spend your time on in-game. go ahead and grab this. And yes, I do see the Chaos Visor down there. I'm just not sure I want to drop anything for it. Honestly, I have plenty of extra damage. I'm not sure I'm worried about. I'm not really sure I'm worried about critical hit chances right now. Alright, that was me being overzealous with my offense. Ooh, beautiful! And if I were to sit here and try to list everything wrong with the day before, we'd be here all freaking day, which... And I'm sure there's a number of you that wouldn't mind me just doing a run that ran through Endless as often as I could before something creamed my ass. Don't take that out of context, I just realized what I said. Alright, not bad. Do I want the elemental stones? Do I see a benefit to it? Do I see a benefit to the fucking Bowser shell? Hang on. That's always one of the best defensive relics you can pick up. That and Kasim's Airy Cloak. They're just chef's kiss. Honestly, I kind of like what I have right now, aside from just... I know that the Hunter's Satchel isn't any good against Sura, but I kind of like the idea that I collected 3 of those 6 relics on my own. Here's the thing, against Sura, the Destructive Abacus doesn't do anything, so we're going to go boom, boom, and just like that, we can destroy all of Anders' stuff. Yes, it seems you have underestimated me, sir. Owie, owie, owie. I stood too close to the sun, except for the sun was made out of water. And it was being projected forth into a line segment. So not really like a sun at all. So the last bit of this story came up just today, actually. Fntastic have said that, you know, after 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, that they're shutting down and they are unsure of the future of the day before, which it never had a future because it was just designed to be a scam game to pull out people's money and then run as far and fast the fuck away as they could. honestly, it's just a precautionary tale for buying into early access garbage. And how did that run take me 36 minutes? Like, seriously, I thought I was doing pretty good. I guess there were a few times where I stood still and just kind of whatever, but 36 minutes? Oof. Well, anyway, the moral of the story is don't buy something that's in early access unless you're absolutely sure that the dev team is going to keep working on it. I have games on my wish list that have been in early access for 4 years. Pretty sure they're never coming out of early access, but I'm gonna keep waiting on them. As soon as I know for certain if those games aren't being released, they're coming off. And that's just the sad truth of it, is sometimes a dev will put a game into early access and then they'll just keep it there because they're like, hey, look at that, I can earn money off of this and never actually finish the fucker. And that's the saddest part about it, is that a tool that was put out in order to be used for the good of smaller devs is being misused by large companies, scammers and whatnot. And that's why whenever I see a game that I like that's in early access, I go, cool, I'm going to wait on that until it hits its full release. And then usually when it hits its full release, that's when I'll jump on it and say, all right, I've been waiting for this, and the devs have earned my money because they've actually released something that I'm pretty sure they aren't just going to abandon and run away with all the fucking money. But at this point, I'm rambling after the run has been done, so I want to thank you guys for sitting and listening to me. I really do appreciate it. As per usual, do the YouTube 5-step to help a brother out. I appreciate you coming and spending some of your free time here with me today. It really does mean a lot to me. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and don't be like Fntastic. Be fair, be square, and just plain be your fucking selves. That's all I've got, so take care, everybody.